Hello students, good morning to everyone. Welcome to the disaster mitigation and management class. In earlier classes we have discussed about the natural disaster. We have just discussed about the short form of whatever the natural disasters and whatever the management disaster in the earlier one. Now we will be studying briefly about the this one natural disasters and man-made disasters briefly, because from your second unit, in second unit we have to elaborate whatever the natural disaster and man-made disasters are there. We will be studying in our in this lecture elaborating the natural disasters. I hope everyone has gone through the previous lectures. Please kindly maintain the notes. So right, under the natural disasters, under the disasters we have two types of disasters. One is natural and then one more is the man-made. We have already studied about the what type of disasters will comes under the natural and man-made. Under the natural also there are two types of classifications. One more is the hydrometeorological based and one more is the zones or geographical based. It means that hydrometeorological itself indicates that whatever the water related disasters will be there, that comes under the hydrometeorological, and whatever the earth related disasters will be there, that comes under the zones or geographical classification, geographical based. Right, under the hydrometeorological disasters what you will be getting? Cyclones I have already told you that will occur in the middle of the ocean due to the circular movement of the water. So next one is the flood is nothing but the heavy flow of the water. Due to the heavy flow of the water, whatever the disaster occurs, that will be called as the flood. And next one is the drought. Less rainfall areas will lead to the drought and desertification. There you will not find a small, you will be finding only small amount of water under the desertification. So right, zones of geographical based disasters are nothing but first one is the earthquake, second one is the tsunamis. I already told you the tsunami is nothing but the movement under the ocean of tectonic plates, means the earthquake occurred under the ocean. So right here, due to that case, the tsunami has been categorized under zones or geographical based disasters. Third one is the landslides. Fourth one is the avalanches. So here the movement of the earth, whichever the disasters occur just due to the movement of the earth, that are being categorized under the zones or geographical based disasters. So right, now we will study about the flood. So I have already told you to control the water, and whatever the rainfall occurs, the water will be stored. The water will be stored at dams, reservoirs, and the water will be collected and stored at some place. But the capacity of dam may not control this one water, means that may lead to the flood. Here you can see the overflow of the water that will destruct complete areas and complete villages which are being surrounded at that place. Right, the flood, the most frequent and costly natural disasters. Costly natural disaster means whenever the flood occur, it will take complete village. So what it will do? So why they are saying costly natural disaster means here the human loss will be more, as well as the property loss will also be more, cause heavy or steady rain for several hours or days that saturate the ground. Right, here the types of floods, you can see many villages which are just flowing in the water. Here you can see the pictures. right? First, under that first one is flash flood. What is actually a flash flood? The flood occurring within 6 hours or heavy rainfall. In Hyderabad also we have recently faced these floods. Many people have lost their properties, right? Many people has lost their properties, which most of the people who are staying in the slope areas, they have lost their properties, right? By God's grace, by God's grace, we did not get the human loss under that. Most of the human loss did not go under that. So, right, the floods occurring within 6 hours or heavy rainfall associated with towering cumulus clouds, thunderstorms, tropical cyclones, or during passage of cold weather fronts, dam failure, or river obstruction requires rapid localized warning system. So, right, whenever this type of things occur, our system or organized body should warn. It will warn most of their, if the overflow of water, or else if they open the gates, they'll just start ringing the alarms for the warning purpose. Right, here second one is the river floods. Second one is the river floods. Here you can see the dam gates. In the picture you can see it clearly that the heavy flow of water, due to that the gates has been opened. From that part to this part the water is coming. The caused by precipitation over a large catchment area. Catchment area means how much the water has been collected from the rain. So that will be storing area or melted off snow, or both may continue for days or week. Factors: moisture, vegetation cover, depth of snow, size of catchments basin, right? So next one is the coastal floods. Coastal floods, where the coastal area is nothing but the where you can find the ocean, right? Associated with cyclonic activities like hurricanes, tropical cyclone, etc. So in the tropical cyclone, what we will be the sudden change in the weather, what will happen? It will move in the this one circular form. Due to that pressure only, again it will move in the upward direction, and it may lead to the floods to the nearer areas which are nearer to the coastal areas. So, right, next one is the urban flood. The land converted from agriculture field or woodlands to the roads and parking lots. This you people can see. I have seen this type of areas, whereas the catchment area has been converted to the commercial area. Commercial area, the most in the Balapur, Tolichoki area. These areas has been converted where nearby. Actually, as per the government rules, the areas which comes under the catchment one, that area should not have any types of constructions. But now people, what they are doing, they are not even leaving any empty area, they are just start constructing. So due to that, whenever the heavy rainfall occurs, the area which comes under that overall catchment area, that is get filling by the water. The water does not do, water is coming to its original place only, but only they are coming and they are filling over there. But actually where they have to move and they have to get stored at other places. We are not even giving them to get stored at their places. We have been constructed many constructions, due to that the water are getting stored at this one. So we can't use our roads, and we whenever the flood is getting occurred, at that moment our life is like stop, right? Urbanization decreases ability to absorb water 2 to 6 times over what occurs on a natural terrain. See, right, why the water, if you people know it very well, when the ground you will be having in that under that you will be having a water table. When the ground will have a ability of absorption, then the water table get increased. Here when the whatever the loose soil is there, even that is not able to absorb the water nowadays, right? During urban flooding, streets can become swift moving rivers, while basements can become a death traps as they fill with water. So next one is the ice jam. Ice jams, we won't mostly, we can find this type of disasters. We can find this type of disasters in Jammu Kashmir side, right? Floating ice accumulates at a natural or human made obstruction and stops the flow of water, thereby causing floods. Flooding too can occur when snow melts at a very fast rate. Means at that moment it will, whatever the ice percentage will be there, if that start melting, that will become a water. So obviously due to that the water will again occurs flood, right? Next one is a glacial lake outburst flood. The glacial lake outburst floods, these all we can see at the Himalayas, right? The big glacier melted rapidly and gave birth to the origin of large number of glacier lakes. Due to the faster rate of ice due to the faster rate of ice and snow melting, possibly caused by the global warming. Possibly caused by the global warming means the heat. The accumulation of water in these lakes has been increasing rapidly and resulting sudden discharge of large volumes of water and debris and causing floods in the downstream, right? Due to the faster rate of ice and snow melting. Why the ice and snow melting is get? Due to the heat waves. Due to the heat waves which are occurring due to the global warming. Due to the heat waves, what it happens, the whatever the ice and snow is present at that place, it start melting. When it start melting, what happen? It converts into the water. With that overflow of water may leads to the flood, right? The accumulation of water in these lakes has been increasing rapidly and resulting sudden discharge of large volume of water and debris and causing flood in the downstream. Here you people can see this one clearly in this picture. So right, next one, characteristics of floods. According to your second unit, we have to study it. What do you say? We have to study it briefly about the natural disasters. So right, characteristics of floods. Under that, first one is depth of water, duration, velocity, frequency of occurrence, and seasonality. Okay, right? The primary causes for floods, we have already discussed this one. Intense rainfall plus river is flowing full, means actually whatever the storage place is there. For example, in our houses also, if we are having some dish, in that if we fill water, it will take only up to how much it can take in and how much depth it can be collected. But we continuously starts filling the water in that one, what it starts overflowing. The same case is with the floods also. Whatever the storage and whatever the catchment area is there, if more than that, if water starts coming, it can't hold it. It starts what do you say? It starts giving up. So at that moment, the flood will occur. The excessive rainfall in river catchments plus river carrying flows in excess of their capacities, right? Third one is cyclone plus very intense rainfall. Fourth one is synchronization of flood peaks in the main rivers or their tributaries. Fourth one is landslides, obstruction of flow and changes in the river curves. Means in the landslides, what happen? Heavy rocks, whatever there, they starts rolling down, rolling from the heavy hilly areas. If hilly areas means that changes from one place to another place, that obstruction of flow and changes in the river occurs. So mostly people will be saying the river starts from the mountains only, right? The river, the birth of the rivers takes from the mountain only, right? Pure, poor natural drainage system, right? In our Hyderabad, we have a underground drainage system. That is a very old drainage system which we are even following now also. The design whichever has been given, that is from the what do you say, our Nizam's period. From that's natural, this drainage system has been continuing, right? That is actually underground. Due to that only, whenever the rains comes, it overflows. Next one, flood prone areas in India. Most of India, one of the most flood prone country, right? Here we have many rivers in India. Many rivers has been taken birth, right? Recent monsoon, highly silted river system, steep and highly erodible mountain. Average rainfall in India is 1150 mm, right? Annual rainfall along the western coast and western Ghats, Kashi hills and over most of the Brahmaputra valleys less than 2500 mm. So these type of things we have learned in our geography in our this one social in our school, right? This again you are studying now. Listen everyone, this I will ask in our internal examination. Kindly follow the video, right? Which this whatever the important things are there, like case studies are there, I will be asking in the internals. Please maintain the notes. Most of the floods occur during the monsoon period. And now also many people, one day what happening, one day you are seeing the humidity much, one day one day rainfall is there. The environment is changing accordingly. We are unable to predict what is the environment, what is the changes are environment in nowadays. You people can see actually it is a rainfall season, but it is a rainy season, but what happening, one day you can see the humidity in a very range, right? Brahmaputra, Ganga, Narmada, Tapti, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri are the most flood prone areas. Survey by Rashtriya Bar Ayog in 1980 say that 40 million hectare areas are flood affected. Due to the in our here also, due to the Musi river flood only, we have faced this one recent flood. Heavy rain in Himalaya during southwest monsoon caused flood in rivers of UP, Bihar, West Bengal and Assam, while central and southern rivers get flooded by heavy rainfall due to depression in Bay of Bengal during southwest monsoon season, right? I already told you, cyclone, tsunami, that's all will occur due to the depression occur in Bay of Bengal, because the waves and air which flow from that direction, Bay of Bengal only, through Bay of Bengal only, that air will flow through our Telangana. In Bihar 100% and in UP 82% flood is caused due to land depression and well marked low pressure. In West Bengal, main region for flood is cyclonic circulation, right? Due to this cyclonic circulation, I have told you, in middle of this ocean what happened, the water will circulate, moves in a circular form. In that circular form only what happened, it goes down and it moves in a same pressure in the upward direction, it leads to the flood. whereas in Punjab, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir are the main reasons is low pressure areas. See, where the low pressure areas in very low, I mean slope areas, there only this will occur, because the water will flow very speed in steepy areas. The flood in Orissa and Andhra Pradesh is due to monsoon depression. Right? Flood preparedness and mitigation. Since ages, people have coped and learned to live with floods, generally settled in areas away from floods, and have adopted agriculture practices which can sustain in flood water. Traditional methods based on locally available resources have been used to minimize the damage during floods. So see here, in India we have got many rivers. In India we have got many rivers, many catchment areas. So at that moment what will happen? The flood the occurring of flood possibilities will also be more. Right? Here the generally settled areas away from the flood prone areas and have adopted agriculture practice which can sustain in flood water. Means most of the agricultural places have been occupied and construction has been done on that places. Due to that places the water is unable to move in the downward direction or in the forward direction. It is getting stored at that place and it is getting increase in height. So due to increase in height, whatever the cellar areas will be there, the water will get stored over there. So due to that we are facing the many problems at the flood. If we give space and if we don't construct our constructions on this catchment areas and this, what do you say, flood prone areas, at that in that we can prevent this type of disasters. Traditional methods based on locally available resources have been used to minimize the damage during flood. So with the increase in population, flood prone areas have been occupied and this is a principal factor in huge losses presently seen. As I have said, the various mitigation measures for flood can be categorized into structural and non-structural measures. So due to the flood, what will happen? Most of the houses you have constructed that get damaged. So one is the property loss. Non-structural measures means human loss will be there. Most of the human loss will be there whenever the flood occurs. Regulation and enforcement. Unplanned and unregulated development activities. Unplanned and unregulated development activities. This is the most revolutionary thing which is happening now in Hyderabad. Most of the areas has been got constructed. Now there is no place to store the water actually. So obviously it will happen whenever the flood comes. We have to take the risk. Right? Enforcement into the waterways led to increase in flood risk. Yes. Capacity development. So here the capacity development, what you people will be doing? The flood education target group for capacity development of professionals, training, research and development and documentation with respect to the flood management. So documentation with respect to the flood management means what actually people are doing. The government is only giving the permission for the construction, right? Even though they know that is a flood prone area and that is a catchment area and the most of the major part of the water get stored there only. Even though the people are giving permission for the construction, so human will be taking the permissions and what they will do? They don't have the best example which we can see is that The Palle Cheruvu, the half of the Palle Cheruvu has been filled with the bricks and the stones for the construction. The people started constructing. The half of the Palle Cheruvu has been occupied by the local political leaders. So right, if they occupy like this, where the water will get stored? The best example you have seen, when the flood has been occurred in month of I don't remember, in the month of January, December. At that moment we were not even able to move from that place. You people have seen, they have constructed the embankment, and we does not even, whatever the roads has been constructed by the local parties, that has been also destroyed in the flood which has been occurred recently. Many people have lost their business in this flood, right? The local parties has to understand, and they should not occupy the rivers and wherever the storage of water can be done, right? That if they occupy like this, the risk will be more in the future. The proposal for strengthening the existing systems, right? Next one is the flood response. An effective and prompt response to flood is very important for minimizing the loss of lives and properties and providing immediate relief to the affected people. The role of communities and NGOs is vital in search, rescue and relief operation. The rescue and relief operation is the mitigation process again. The immediate medical assistance to the affected people and steps for preparation of outbreak of epidemic after the floods are essential components of flooded water. Obviously, whenever the flood will occur, the water will not be comes in a what do you say, clean form. It will mix with a drainage water, and due to that one, what will happen, that some reaction will happen, and that due to that epidemics, means unwanted diseases will be spreaded. So that due to that, remedial measures has to be taken by the flood responsible acts, right? As per provisions of the DM Act 2005, the GOI as constituted National Disaster Response Force for the purpose of specialized response to disaster, right? Here the structural measurements. Embankment you people can see whenever we are going in this what do you say, Palle Cheruvu road is there, right? Palle Cheruvu road, at that moment, whenever actually what happened, the flood has occurred. Due to that flood, whatever the road has been constructed, that has been flowed, right? They people what they did, they have constructed the embankment is nothing but it is one type of slope which we construct, and the water, whatever the water will getting stored at the slope. So river is restricted to its existing course and prevented from overflowing the banks constructed with earth or machinery or concrete walls. Here the construction has been done with the earth. The construction has been done with the earth. You people you can see it, the whatever the road is there, that is called a embankment. They have provided the slopes in both the direction due to prevent the heavy flow of water, that the slope whatever they have constructed, that may not lead into the flood in the further. But whatever the material they have used, now only due to some natural rainfalls and some possible rainfalls only, it is not able to resist, means whatever the low material they are using, that are of low quality. Next one, dams, reservoirs and other water storage mechanism. So here the dams, reservoirs and other water storage effective means for reducing flood peaks in the river. The dams, reservoirs and the water storage effective means for reducing flood peaks in the rivers. Operation and regulations of reservoirs takes into account the international and interstate and inter-regional aspects. So here we have dams like Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, in that also you will be having a reservoir, and we have Srisalem Dam. These are the big dams, and Nagarjuna Sagar is the gravity dam, largest gravity dam in India. One of the largest dam in India is gravity dam is Nagarjuna Sagar Dam. Channel improvement. The aim of channel improvement is to increase the area of flow or velocity of flow, or both to increase the carrying capacity, whatever the mitigation. And these all we have to keep in a mind while designing the dams and reservoirs. Normally this measure involves high cost, and there are also problems of topographical constraints to execute such a measure. Desilting and dredging of rivers. Desilting and dredging of rivers can be adopted. Silting is nothing but the particle which is lesser in size, less than the clay. You people can see the clay. I hope this I will explain in the brief. Okay. Drainage improvement, construction of new channels or improving capacity of existing channels to decongest and prevent flooding. Drainage improvement is cannot be done at this moment in mostly in Hyderabad. I'm not talking about the all parts of the country. I'm just talking about the India. In that, what will happen? It is already underground construction. Underground construction, the complete new providing a new channels is possible, but improving capacity of existing channels will take. It's a challenging one. It's a very challenging one, right? Diversion of flood water. This involves diverting all or part of floods water into natural or artificial construction. Whenever the water is getting overflowed, at that moment we have to divert the water, or else we'll see the water for weeks, days and months in one place only. Due to that, what happened? The stagnation of water at one place, it may leads to the many epidemics, right? Usually affecting to prevent flooding around cities. The flood still channels for Srinagar and the supplementary drain in Delhi are the best examples. Next one is catchment area treatment. Afforestation which minimize siltations of rivers and silt loads in the rivers. Means if you go to the river, most of the people are say the river sand is very good. If you go to the sand which is present, river sand is very good for the construction. It will be having a permeability conditions. So right, so our afforestation which minimize siltation of reservoirs and silt load in the river. Afforestation means we should not cut down the trees. So what happened? It will minimize the siltation of reservoirs and the silt loads in the river. The most of the water will be catched in the forest itself. So control flood peaks and suddenness of the runoff. Right, next was sea walls or coastal protection work, prevent flooding from seawater, highly cost. Next one is highly cost. Next one is the non-structural measures. So here floodplain zoning, these are all not that important for you, even though I am showing this for your, this I may ask in your internals to regulate this structural and non-structural. Mostly this will be used by the civil engineers for mostly in the disaster risk reduction. Most of the civil engineers works under this, so in that also mostly this is very useful for the civil engineers. So see here, to regulate land use in the flood plain in order to restrict the damages, right? Determine the location and extent of areas for the development activities so the damage is minimized. These are all we have studied. it lays down guidelines for various types of development so that adequate mitigation is built for the worst flood scenario. It lays down the guidelines for various types of development so that adequate mitigation is built for the worst flood scenario. Means various types of developments which you are taking in the city that may get a reason for the flood. Means flood is the, it means you are using the catchment area for the development. One can locate parks, playgrounds, etc. for area which have a up to 10 years frequency, while prohibition residential colonies, industries, etc. and allowing residential and other public utilities with specific design guidelines in area which have 25 years frequency. Right? Flood forecasting and warning developed by Central Water Commission CWC and state, mostly in Hyderabad. This all will takes by HMWS. Forecast of water levels, stage forecast, discharge flow forecast, and area to be submerged in undulation forecast. The forecast when carries definite risk information is called warning. Means these are all the, whenever there is a possibility of heavy rainfall, means our forecasting will warn us today there is a scale of this rainfall, so kindly avoid going outside. These people will be saying, warning, the forecasting, whatever the rain forecasting will be there, they will be warning us in the prior. The flood forecasting services involve collection of hydrological data, gauge, discharge, meteorological data such as rainfall. Right? Next one is the flood proofing, measures designed to minimize the impact when flood water comes, such as raised platform for shelter to population cattle, raised platform for drinking water, hand pump, bore wells above flood level, house or building architecture, provisions for relocating via installations such as communication, power. These are all we have to. Flood proofing can be done whenever the constructions and whenever the most of the constructions you are taking, at that moment we have to take as a, we have to consider, keeping in a consideration flood proofing, we have to construct all this one. Whenever you go to the dam, there you can see the flood level, FL level, most of the HFL, high flood level, they will mark that one. You people can see whenever you go to the dam. Right? Flood safety tips. All the family members should know the safe routes to the nearest shelter, raised puka house. If the area is flood prone, consider suitable flood resistant buildings. Tune the local radio. This all we have already studied. Next one, keep dry food, drinking water and clothes ready. These are all you have to, what you have to, these are all the precautions when we have to take them when the forecasting will be done and you want to move from the present place to the another place. Drinking preferably boiled water, keeping your food covered, don't take heavy meals. Right? Okay. Next one, these are all here you can see, pack warming cloths, raise furniture, turn off the main electricity power supply whenever this, due to the, whenever turn off the main electricity power supply, means if water comes inside the water comes inside the house, the complete what we will be getting a wet at that moment. If we touch the power supply electricity, we may get shock. Do not use electrical appliances which have been in flooded water. Don't get into water of unknown depth and current. Do not allow children to play in or near flood water. Right? So now next we will be studying about the drought in our next lecture. Till now we have studied about the natural disaster, under that we have studied about the What are the classification of natural disaster? There you have hydrometeorological disasters and geographical disasters. Under that the categorization we have studied. Kindly follow the notes. Kindly follow the notes. I will be asking for the notes. Please follow the video and maintain the notes. Thank you.